If you don't go all in inside of your real estate wholesaling business, then really I don't think that you will get the results that you're expecting when you're jumping inside of the business. Hey, what is going on, everyone? Devin Can up here with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about going all in on your real estate wholesaling business. I'm going to give you a few tips and tricks throughout this video that are going to help you get a lot of results from real estate wholesaling. And so one of the biggest things that I think a lot of people misinterpret or they just don't do correctly is they have the wrong expectations jumping inside the business. And so first things first, it is very easy to make a lot of money very quickly inside this business, but I think where the false expectations lie is a lot of people think that it doesn't take that much work to run the business and it can be easily automated straight away from the beginning. And I can tell you that, first of all, if you've ever ran any business, you would understand it takes a little bit of knowledge and skills and you have to know exactly what you're doing before you start completely automating your business. And this was kind of a mistake that I made. First of all, like when it was back at the beginning of the year of 2018, I was going to school and we were sending out like a ton of marketing and we were getting all these leads in and everything. And I had a couple people kind of helping me out, and I got super busy with school and baseball, and it was just kind of very overwhelming trying to do everything. So I thought I had the systems in place for everything to just be fully automated, but I didn't train people correctly, and there was a lot of stuff that was still like a big unknown for me. I was still closing deals, but it wouldn't run on its own, and I really didn't invest that much more time into it just because I was so busy and consumed with all of these different things. And with that, my wholesaling business actually started to crash a little bit, and we weren't bringing in any more leads. We weren't closing as many deals. Luckily, we had some deals that just were able to close throughout the year, so I had deals closing every once in a while here and there without me doing anything. But at the same time, we weren't consistently building up the business. There was no growth. It was actually kind of on a downhill rather than even just flatlining or growing. So it really kind of just crashed, and I was sitting there like, why the hell did this happen? And so what I kind of realized is that you need to go all in on this business. I was doing that at the beginning. I was going all in. I was doing whatever it takes to go out there and do a deal, and I was in the trenches willing to do whatever it took. And so I got to the point where I was still like doing majority of the business, and I had other people helping me, and I had always had to consistently tell them what to do. But as soon as I quit being in the trenches and it wasn't fully automated to what I thought was automated, that's where it just really started to crash. And so my recommendations inside of here is, first of all, if you haven't done a deal, you haven't gotten any results yet, you got to go all in on this business. What I mean by that is you got to dedicate any ounce of extra time that you have available. If you're going to be serious about getting into real estate wholesaling, you need to invest it into going out there and closing deals. You need to figure out what the money-making activities are and focus purely on those and do whatever you can to close a deal. And then on top of that, just keep doing it. Just keep doing it until maybe you've closed about like 5 deals or so. And then after you've closed 5 transactions, that's just a good number. You could obviously do more. If you do less, it's a little bit more difficult to try to automate stuff. But after about 5 deals, you should have enough money in the bank, and you should have the skill set in order to kind of hire other people to do what you're doing. And with this, what you want to do is just replicate the processes that you know how to do and that are just very time consuming and aren't producing you income. After about 5 deals, you should know the full process on exactly how to close a deal. And with that, you can just kind of transfer over what you know and your knowledge over to somebody else in that position, whether it be like an acquisition manager or a virtual assistant. And so with this, even then, I still don't recommend you kind of just let off the throttle until the business starts growing on its own. Like if it's just maintaining where it's at, obviously you need to keep still putting in work until it gets to the point where it's on an upward slope as far as where the business is going, and you can step away. Like I said, the mistake that I did was I stepped away too early, and I was slowly stepping away, and it started to go downhill. We weren't closing as many deals. Part of it was we weren't testing enough with our marketing strategies and everything. It was working previously, and then all of a sudden it wasn't working, and I didn't understand what to do at that point. And that's kind of where everything started to go downhill. And so I see too many people try to jump into this business that are just, they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna jump into real estate wholesaling. I'm gonna go out there and close deals. And then I try to talk to them a month later, and they've already given up. And I kind of ask them a few questions like, what did you do? Like, what were you trying to do? What kind of circumstances were you in? And they're like, yeah, it's just not working out for me. And it turns out that they were kind of half-assing a lot of stuff. They didn't really fully burn the boats, and they weren't really going all in. Now, obviously, people with a full-time job, that's kind of a different conversation, but with all the spare time that they had, they were just spending it watching Netflix, and maybe an hour a week, they were involving that time into the business. And really, at the end of the day, like, you got to treat this real estate wholesaling business like a legitimate business. I say this a couple times in some of my videos, but since it's like free to jump in, or it's like very low hard cost when you're jumping in, there's no hard cost actually, when you're jumping into the real estate wholesaling business, a lot of people take it as, oh, it's not that big of a deal. If I close a deal, awesome. That's my goal. But if I don't close the deal, it's all right. It's not a big deal. I'll go work on something else. And that's definitely the wrong mentality to have inside of here. It's kind of like if you were to go out there and start up some sort of brick and mortar business, like let's say like a low minimum, you're gonna spend $50,000 to set up that business. You're gonna have to pay for the building, you're gonna have to pay for like all this different stuff, probably employees and whatnot. And it's a pretty pricey investment to get into some sort of brick and mortar business. And with this, after you spend that much money, you're gonna treat it like a business, obviously. You invested all this money, and you're gonna have to invest a lot of time in order to recuperate that investment that you put in and grow the business. And the same applies to real estate wholesaling. Obviously, like I said, it doesn't cost $50,000 to get started, but a lot of people feel like, oh, it doesn't cost that much to get in. I can just back out whenever I want to, and it's not a big deal. Yes, you can back out whenever you want to, but if you have that mentality of just like, oh, if I don't close the deal, it's kind of whatever, I'll just try to do something else, then you're not going to get results. And that's kind of how it goes for any sort of MMO business, make money online. And on top of that, like any other business that are just, they don't have a lot of hard costs, kind of like these different like weird wacky ways of making money, whether it be like drop shipping, social media marketing, or wholesaling, or there's so many different like little business ventures that you can make millions from, but it doesn't cost very much to get inside of it. And so with this, what you're going to need to understand is that if you are considering doing real estate wholesaling, you want to go out there and close a deal, then what you need to do is go all in. You need to burn the boats. You need to go all in inside this business, so that way you can give yourself the best opportunity to close a deal. And kind of the mentality that I had when I was getting started was, I don't care how long it takes me to close a deal. I'm going to put every day as much time, energy, and money if available as possible into jumping inside of this business. And with that, I was able to close like 5 deals right out of the get-go. And then on top of that, as soon as I let off the throttle, as soon as I stopped going all in, that is when I started failing and I started losing a grasp of how my business was operating. And then to this day, I'm trying to still get back to the point where it's all like completely automated and everything's all said and done. I'm still kind of in the trenches. I'm still trying to make it all work. I'm trying to make things happen. And so I don't want you to go through the same thing, especially if you close a few deals and then all of a sudden you lost everything and then you're kind of building it back up. But at the same time, like, I want you to go out there. I want you to go out there and close a deal, so that way you can keep the momentum going and go out there and close more and more deals. So anyways, that's what I got for you guys today in today's video. Like I said, if you're considering wholesaling, go all in, don't look back, and just really believe and trust the system. It may be a little frustrating at first, or going through these like highs and lows, and that's just part of entrepreneurship and anything in business, and you're gonna learn a lot very quickly, as I have. Like in the past year, it's ridiculous like how much that I've learned, and like it's kind of crazy actually. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you haven't already and you made it this far, join the fam, join the gang by hitting the subscribe button down below. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. And if you haven't already, smash the like button. Highly appreciated. And like always, I'm uploading every day. So I will see you tomorrow. Peace.